Clay, the Knicks, they win. Can they force a game 7? Could they even win the series?
Sure. They've got the ability. I mean, my gut says that over the course of the next 2 games, though, you're just not going to be able to keep that Indiana offense down long enough to do it. But can they? Yeah. And that's not the right sports hot take radio answer but if you're asking me possibility, yeah, I think they can. I still think Jalen Brunson, if you're picking one player off of either of these teams, Brunson's the guy that you trust with the ball in his hands. As great as Halliburton has been, as well as Siakam has played, at times, I still, if I'm picking one, I'm taking Jalen Brunson. And if I've got the best player and I got to win 2 games, I feel like I've at least got a shot.
Hey, Clay, when you're watching these 2 teams make it to the conference finals, either of them, as you're saying, can make it to the NBA finals, it seems like the East was more wide open this year than it's ever been. Is there any sort of feeling that, man, had the Miami Heat just paid Jimmy Butler, they could have made a run this year? Like, is it fair for Heat fans to feel that way? Or do you think, when we look back on the decision not to, it'll ultimately end up being the right decision that the Miami Heat front office made?
Well, right decision, because first off, the Heat were so far off from even the Cavaliers. So, and I know the transitive property doesn't work, all that stuff, but they were just outclassed in that series. And then we see where the Cavs are now. And yes, part of this is matchups, but the other problem, Solana, is Jimmy's not that guy anymore. I do think he's in a good situation in Golden State when Steph Curry is healthy, where he can kind of just do the winning things, so to speak, that a very good number 2 player can do. But he's not going to be the number 1 on a championship team. And prime Jimmy, you felt like you had a chance with him here when you're surrounding him with Bam and Tyler Hero and when Kyle Lowry was doing the winning things and not driving everybody crazy. But no, I think they made the right decision for this franchise, because I don't think Jimmy Butler gets you past Cleveland, much less to this point.
Hey, by the way, just as an aside, talking about the Heat here, I've had this conversation with Crowder and Solana. I think Heat Nation, Heat Twitter, is going to be happy if one of 2 people end up here, Kevin Durant or Giannis. And it's the long shot of long shots, because to go get those guys, you're going to have assets, unless, like Solana says, where they demand, I will only play in Miami, and the teams acquiesce to their demands. But would Heat Nation, would the Heat fan at large be happy with CP3, DeMar DeRozan, a signing like that?
Oh, man, no, absolutely not. To me, that would be the worst case scenario, because you're using assets or trade slots, like salary slots and matching money to get guys here. Look, the conversation we just had, Jimmy Butler doesn't get you past the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. You think adding CP3 and or DeMar DeRozan is going to do it?
No, but what if you can't? Like, it's kind of unrealistic to expect KD or Giannis, and I don't see any other gigantic game-changing whales out there, and we have to take Zion out of the conversation now with the news that came out today. So I don't know what your alternatives are going to be. You can't run it back. So you're going to have to get excited about a DeMar DeRozan or CP3, no?
And I think that's what drives me crazy is I would rather give the young guys a run and, see what you've got. Have a year where you're just saying we're going to have these guys get this experience, and what, are they going to be worse next year than they were this year? And if they are, okay, fine. So you're like you're in the lottery. Great. I just, if you can get Giannis or KD, and I'm with you, I think they're both long shots, but if you can get one of those, fine. Or another big name that may ask, great, love it, fine, build around him, trade whatever it takes. But alternatively, I'm not trying to just get up to, I don't know, 7th in the East. I don't want to see that. I don't think fans want to see that. I think fans are at the point now where you go back a couple of years and you finish and you barely make it into the playoffs out of the play-in, you make your own to the NBA Finals. Great. Because you had Jimmy Butler doing crazy Jimmy Butler things. Prime Jimmy Butler isn't here anymore. And prime Jimmy Butler wasn't here at the beginning of this year either. That's gone. That era is gone. So the idea that you sneak in as a 7 or 8 and you somehow go on a run when you don't have that guy, I'd just rather hit the reset button a little bit, give the young guys a chance to play and see how that all shakes out.
Is there any thought to trading everybody? Like totally resetting? I know the Miami Heat aren't going to do that, Clay, but in your mind, would that be the right way to go about it? Because you could make the argument, get as many picks as you possibly can. I mean, even with Bam and Tyler this year, you were already the 10 seed, right? Like, I mean, how much more could you fall off by hitting a total reset, and trying to get back into the game and having the full flexibility of a lot of cap space to go sign as many free agents as you can over the next couple of years?
And that's where I personally would rather do that than give up anything to get CP3, DeMar DeRozan, and I'm, trades, free agency, whatever. Like, I don't want a year of that. I don't want a year where you're trying to trick yourself into thinking that you'll capture lightning in a bottle. The lightning in the bottle was prime Jimmy Butler. That was it. And yes, role player Max Strus, like, you had a lot of role players that did really well around him, but it was prime Jimmy Butler that made it all happen. And so, no, man, I would much rather do that than try to throw a couple of one-year Band-Aids on this and see where you end up. And I know we have to couch all of this stuff by saying we know the Heat would never do this, X, Y. Well, maybe they should consider it, because I think fans are at the point right now where they're a little disenchanted with the idea that, yeah, let's just get to the playoffs and see what happens. Well, we've seen what happens. Like, we see what happens when prime Jimmy Butler isn't here. So no, let's try something different, because this ain't working.
Well, let's extrapolate that out to the Dolphins, though, because we had the new news yesterday. Jonnu Smith apparently wants a new contract, so they're shopping him. What do you do with that? First of all, Jonnu Smith was the most valuable offensive player probably on that team. But I also understand that over the last couple of seasons, they've set this precedent that they'll give anybody a new contract who says they want it. And I can understand where they go, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. But it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And the Dolphins may find themselves in this situation where it's kind of blowing up when they didn't really plan on it blowing up. So where do you stand on with Jonnu Smith and the Dolphins?
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they want Jalen Ramsey to rework his deal or something? I don't know. Like, that part of like the whole Jalen Ramsey thing, and I may be misremembering this to steal was it Roger Clemens who said that? But maybe it was Ramsey. Maybe it was the Dolphins that wanted Ramsey to take a pick. Whatever it was. But my whole thing right now is, the Dolphins have operated for the last 3 years as a team in a window, that they felt like they were in a winning window. What they seem to be doing right now is what a team would do if they are no longer in that window, but they're doing it piecemeal. I feel like, I think the worst kept secret in the league is that Jalen Ramsey is going to be gone post June 1st for cap reasons, all that stuff. Well, okay, if that's the case, then you're half in, half out now. You don't have a starting cornerback relative to going up against another team's number one receiver. You are telling Jonnu Smith, all right, we're going to shop you, as opposed to try to. I don't know where they're at anymore. I don't know. Is this an acknowledgement within the Dolphins franchise that, you know what, we're no longer in that window?
And they know where they're at? That's probably the better question, because we may not know where they're at. Do you think they know where they're at?
I don't. Now, okay, let me rephrase that. I felt at the beginning of the offseason that they had no clue where they are. But maybe this is privately them finally acknowledging they're not where they need to be, and they are willing to move on from some guys, especially with Armstead retiring, and like, you don't know what you're going to have, and you want to start getting these young guys some run. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe they are finally coming to the realization that they are not in a winning window, and they got to just kind of reset a little bit this year and try to go after it again next year.
Yeah, but the thing, that's the part that's frustrating, though, right? The reset a little bit. Like, either reset or don't. And by the way, I don't think they should. And as much as it pains me, I happen to love Jonnu Smith. As much as but I don't like the precedent that they've been setting, with the contracts. But as much as it pains me, I'd give Jonnu whatever he wants. I don't think you should come close to resetting. Like, go for it. Just go for it.
And that's fine. But my thing is, okay, you got to go for it. But at this point, you probably need to go get 2 starting caliber cornerbacks. I mean, that you
definitely need to do. There's no question there.
But I think but to me, that's where you're at right now. We're like, I don't know what direction they're at. Yeah, sure, pay Jonnu. Great. Okay, well then you're going to give up 70 points. I don't get it. I don't know if they've got some things cooking post June 1st. I don't know what's going on here, but it just feels really weird that would come out so publicly. With also the caveat that Jonnu would prefer to stay here. Everything just feels weird, and honestly, it's felt weird all off season.
Clay, what's your 40 time? Just in case the Dolphins are looking to make a linear move as well.
Can you backpedal still? You have good peripheral vision.
So here's what's funny. I think I was clocked at like a 5'8" or something. I don't know. And for a skinny guy, that's pretty atrocious. So yeah, and I don't have a meniscus in my left knee.
5'8". I would bet that's faster than 95% of the media contingency covering the Miami Dolphins.
That's faster than Donovan Campbell?
Oh no, Donovan would burn me. Will would burn me. Cunha would burn me. I think I could probably.
Donovan looks very fit. I feel like he can't run fast though. You know what I mean?
Why?
First of all,
I don't know.
Because I only picture him in slacks.
We got to set something.
We got to set something up for charity. Bruno Mali shoes, like you can't run.
We got to set something up for charity, and I think we would also have to contact Hard Rock Bet to do over under on how many Achilles pop and how many.
Yeah, I mean it would all be injury based, right?
But you have to run. Fastest? You have to run in Steve Madden's though. Like everybody has to be rocking
in newswear. You have to run in newswear.
Pick out your best Cole Hans and meet at the track.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it. I'm in. I just, I don't know if I'm going to sign a liability waiver because I may need the insurance money if I can't go back to work.
I'm getting a text from Donovan Campbell as we speak. It says, ask Goldie. And there's more coming. Little text bubbles coming.
Goldie runs too. Goldie's in good shape.
But is he a speed runner?
Like he's a distance guy.
Great radio. This is great radio waiting for Donovan Campbell thought bubbles to turn into.
I got to tell you, this is the most interested I've been in this entire segment.
Uh-huh.
Me too.
Donovan says he'll beat me. Well, listen, what are we doing there, Donovan? 55, I can barely get out of my car without grunting.
I was going to say, this is a straw man argument now. I don't think he's is that him like conceding that he couldn't beat Cunha? Because I know he could beat me.
I mean, right. Donovan, if you're picking out me and saying I can beat you, like can you beat Will Manso? I feel like Manso's got some speed.
Will runs a lot, but I don't think Cunha runs though.
Distance.
Cunha doesn't run.
I think Cunha might do sprints. No, I think Cunha might do like sprints and stuff. That seems like something
hit,
in his
hit training, high interval training.
Yeah, that seems like something that's in. Donovan now says he will beat me backwards. Do you think Donovan Campbell could beat me in the 40 if he's running backwards in his dress shoes? He says.
I think he could beat you swimming if you were running by the side of the pool. I think he could. I think he could crawl.
Do you think I could complete a 40?
I guess that's the better question.
We have to start there. Listen, put a DQ blizzard at the end, and I'm there quickly. Like if there's only
Donovan
one
Donovan and I could jump in the pool and swim 40 meters, and you wouldn't make it 40 yards running.
Because here's the thing with Donovan Campbell. He's going to show up. He is going to look like a professional runner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's going to look, he's going to
Hokas,
have
the Hokas
outfit. Yeah. He's going to be carrying for no apparent reason a javelin, like just like he hangs out at the track. Like, he's going to have all the equipment.
Just Jordan Donovan showing up with a javelin.
Yeah, like you're going to see shot put. He's right. He's working out. He's working out at the pole vault. Like, you know what I mean? Like Donovan can play the part, but does he have speed? That's the question. And I'm going to find out.
The question is, does he have more speed than any of us? And does Cunha? Right. And the answer is yes. We're old, Hawk. I hate to break it to you. We are.
I know I'm not in this conversation. Well. Is there anyone in local media? What about Josh Moser? Think Moser could take him?
Moser,
I haven't seen him run. I don't know.
You know what, Giselle used to play water polo. Like, she's an athlete.
Yeah.
Giselle might be able
Well, there
to
you
take
go.
him.
yeah.
So Casey, our new sports reporter, she actually was a gymnast for up until 12th grade. So I think she would qualify as more of an
I
athlete
saw her
than
at
any
the
of us.
Panthers game. I didn't introduce myself. Is she taller than you?
No, she's. I think with heels, she says she's 5, or without heels, I think she's 5'11". But with heels, she's close to me. I'm 6'4".
Yeah, she looked your height. I was like, wow, she's tall.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she could beat him.
Yeah,
Got the stride.
yeah. Got the stride, got the athletic background. I think right now, the more we talk about this, I think Casey and Giselle would be 1-2 on the athlete power rankings, and then all the rest of us are competing for third.
Well, there's going to be 2 conferences. There's the Donovan Campbell conference. There's the Hockman conference. And I have to tell you, Clay, I think you're working your way into the Hockman conference the more you talk.
Well, yeah, I'm not. This is not. I know my limitations. This is like I've made my life by knowing my own limitations and making sure I try not to exceed them and end up in trouble. So I understand this.
All right. Write all this down, Jimmy, because I got to have Donovan on next week and get to the bottom of this. Thank you, Clay. We love you.
Of course, guys. Take care.